thank you guys so much for tuning into today's episode of the Worlds of Country podcast. I'm your host, Andrew. On today's episode, I'm joined by Joe Noto to talk all about his musical journey and his brand new single, Every Time the Wind Blows. Hope you guys enjoy this one. I know I really did. To talk to you guys on the other side.
Got it.
Hey Joe, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Of course, I've been good. What have you been up to lately?
Oh man, what have I been up to lately? I everything. Ready to start this new year off right. Um, I got my goals for the year set up. At least some of them. Just getting ready for this song to come out this week. I'm very, very excited, very anxious, a little nervous, because you want everybody to like it. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. Just taking it day by day, just working on making sure I'm setting up for a good year.
So when January hits, does everything that you put off, does it all sort of hit you all at once, or?
um, not this year, because this year January was marking, like, coming into 2023, like January was marking kind of a new fresh start for me. I had a rough start in Nashville, in regards to, like, I moved here, got put on vocal rest, and then needed vocal cord surgery, and then that delayed everything by like 7 months. And then it was getting into the studio, and then it was finding the right time to release music. So, like, it wasn't that I was putting anything off, is that we were planning on this month. Like, we were like, yo, January hits and we're going full head of steam, trying to do as much as we possibly can, because there's almost been, like, in my opinion, too much time has gone by without releasing music and really just keeping our heads down and grinding out on the career. And that's why I've been looking so forward to January hitting.
Do you get like sort of antsy when you're not putting out music for a while?
Oh yeah. Antsy
An understatement.
is an understatement, dude. I'm talking like anxiety through the roof, because it's kind of like, like, you're here and you're immersed in this culture of everybody's grinding towards the same goal, right? Everybody wants to have success in country music and in Nashville. And then you take into consideration the advancements of social media and TikTok and all that, and that you have peers that are hitting it hard there and really seeing, the benefits. And then it's, you're just trying to keep your head above water, right? You want to stay relevant. So I have felt, the last time I released a song was October 2021, and this whole year has kind of gone by, and I'm like, what? I've seen everybody have their success. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, because a lot of people are just grinding every day, and I've seen, people release a song and it does really well, and then they release another song and it does even better, and it's just like, you want to be a part of that conversation, you want to be in that same realm. And it's tough when you're not releasing music. The reality of the situation is that you're not going to be in that conversation. So it's been 2022 was an interesting year. It was a year that I'd change a lot of things, but you know what? I'm a firm believer that God has a plan, and you have to just stick by it and continue to do what you think is right. And that's why I got this year to make up for last year. So.
Yeah. And with a lot of these artists and these songs that blow up, we don't see the work that goes into them. We don't see the grind. We just sort of see the end
Yeah.
result, and it kind of like paints like a narrow picture of everything that truly goes into it.
Yeah, man, it's a grind, and that's one thing I want to show everybody this year, and utilize my social media in this respect is, you know, we forget. I had this conversation recently with some buddies, but like we were out at a bar. You ever been to Nashville?
Yes.
You know where Red Door is?
Yes.
Okay, so we were at Red Door, and I said, man, we forget how cool it is to create music. Like we create what people turn on in their car, and whether it's one person listening to it or it's a million people listening to it or 1,000 people or whatever it might be, the fact that people take the time out of their day to listen to what we create as musicians and as artists is a really crazy thing to think about. So I want to bring people along and show people what it is like in the daily and in the day-to-day stuff. And some, as much as it is a grind, it's just as fun, like
Yeah.
we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love it. And that's kind of my take on that.
There's far worse things you could
Oh,
grind towards.
I know.
So when did the musical dream first sort of hit you?
The dream. So I didn't ever think that I was going to be doing it as a career, or that I was even going to want to. I've been in and around music since I was 5 years old. My grandfather was a jazz musician. Music was always on in our house. I started with drums. That didn't last very long. Then went to guitar. That stuck. I loved it. And through everything, through every sport that I played, through everything I did that was extracurricular, the music never went away. That was the one constant all the time. And I was in a rock band in high school, through my high school. And we had a singer graduate when I was like a sophomore. And our teacher came to us and was like, hey, like, I need you to step up. His name was Ernie Mills. And he said, I need you to step up and sing this year, because her name was Carrington. Carrington's not going to, obviously she's graduating and going on to college. So I was nervous as hell, man, because I was the type of kid where I only sang when nobody was home. I didn't sing in front of people. Like I was deathly terrified to like sing in front of anybody. And then people would compliment me a lot, and I was like, oh wow, this is cool, like, and my thing was like, I don't even think I'm the greatest singer in the world. I don't think that I'm some, revelating like voice or artist or whatever, but like my big thing was just entertaining people. I loved getting in front of people and doing everything that I possibly could to entertain the people that were watching. And then I brought the country music to the rock band, and I was like, hey guys, let's play this kind of stuff. And I got a lot of pushback. They didn't want to play it. They wanted to play rock and roll. And that's when I got to college. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go do this by myself. And throughout college, I just started playing the local bars in Tallahassee at Florida State. And then I started traveling up to Nashville. And once I kind of realized I could hang with the competition and make a name for myself, at least, I was there was no turning back. I dropped out of college, and that was that. And here we are.
So where did your love for country music come from, as someone who wasn't from somewhere that is traditionally country?
I love that. I love everybody says that that it's not traditionally country, and I understand like, but where I live, or where I grew up, I should say. So Royal Palm Beach is west of West Palm. It's out near, I don't know if you know what Loxahatchee is.
Yeah.
And the acreage. I was very, very blessed to grow up in a place where we had a little bit of everything. We had a little bit of the country. We had a little bit of the city. We had a little bit of the beach. We had absolutely everything. And when I'm telling you, like, Royal Palm Beach, Florida, as much as everybody thinks it's like, oh, Royal Palm Beach, like, they get down out there. And that's, I will say, being in urban West Palm Beach, right? Like, it's not popular for a kid to listen to country music. It's not it's not a very invited thing, I guess you could say. But I wanted to be a doctor, and I got into a medical magnet program. However, I had to go to Loxahatchee for school. So I was like 15 minutes from my house. but that was out in the country. And I got out there, and all my best friends that I made out there all listen to country music. And that's when the Zach Brown band was hitting, and it was like Luke Bryan released like Drink a Beer, and like it was that, like FGL was going crazy. Like that was what was happening, and I just fell in love with it. And that's when Pandora was popular, right? So like I'd type in Zach Brown radio, and it'd give me, all these different artists. And then I discovered the deep cuts of like Alan Jackson and George Strait and Tracy Lawrence. And like then it turned into all these different Pandora radio stations. And like I couldn't tell you how many songs I know every word to, because that's just what we listened to in middle school. And then I mean, I obviously just like fell in love with the genre. But I mean, I grew up on everything, dude. I grew up on Motown. I grew up on 80s hair bands. I grew up on rap. I had a bunch of older cousins, so like that's what was popular. I grew up on everything, and it just wasn't popular to listen to country until I finally made up my own mind and made my decision as to what I wanted to listen to. So
You mentioned discovering all of this. It's crazy how easy it's gotten to discover all this different music that you basically have at the swipe of a finger these days.
yeah. Pandora was my exposure to way more music than, I mean, let me tell you, I come from a family that has a very, very diverse musical taste. I mean, me and my two best friends that were in my neighborhood, like I go back home and we listen to reggaeton and rap, and like, my aunts and uncles all listen to old country music, but they all listen to old rock and roll, and they listen to old rap. And it was just, I had, I'm so grateful for all of the different influences that I had, because at the end of the day, man, like regardless, and I'm not talking about myself here, but regardless of genre, dude, like great music is great music. And
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, that's what's kind of shaped me, is like I just want to make sure I'm creating great music and I'm putting on a show and entertaining people. And that's all I really worry about.
So how do you feel that you've sort of been able to incorporate all those different influences into your music today?
That's a good question. I think it's an ongoing learning process, right? Like you never figure it out in one try, especially as an upcoming artist and somebody that's, I'm still wet behind the ears and green to the whole industry. And I'd be an idiot if I could sit here and say that I know it all. And I don't think anybody ever knows it all.
No, it does. Yeah.
It's your brand and your sound continues to evolve, I think. And I'm not scared of anything. My biggest musical influence of all time is Michael Jackson. So I know sonically my music might not reflect that, but then again, I tell everybody I'm not worried about whether I write the song or not. I'm worried about when we get in the studio. It's obviously best song wins in my book, but it's also, I want to create something sonically that people are going to love and want to continue to listen to. And I also think that with all the influences, I really look up to entertainers as opposed to like artists. Like you have people that are very interested in like, so and so is a great songwriter, and so is a great they have a great story, or they have a great kind of like shtick to who their artist is. But for me, I've always admired the art of getting on stage and holding people in the crowd in the palm of your hand. And that's why I look up to guys like MJ, John Bon Jovi, and in the country music realm, your Luke Bryans, your Aldeans. Those are the people that go out, your Garths. They go out on stage and they could sing an hour and a half full of covers, but you're going to come back every time because they moved you. They made you forget about what you have going on in your daily life, and you were able to just be in the moment and have fun and create those kind of like long lasting memories. So that's my goal with this at the end of the day.
Those, it's almost like being transported to another dimension when you have those
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
crazy what music can do, man. It's crazy.
And the thought of even being on like the other side of that is wild.
The other side is in like a creator of it or like a
Yeah,
fan.
creator
Yeah.
of it.
It's crazy, man, to think that we create stuff that people turn on in their cars and listen to. It really is.
So you mentioned being green to the industry. What would you say have been some of the bigger lessons that you've learned so far?
Huh. Nashville's a small town. That's a big lesson I learned.
The world's largest small town.
I know it's crazy. Nashville's a very small town. You know, I've always my parents instilled this in me. There's a few things I'll say. Like my parents always instilled this in me is that you just be good and be kind to people. That'll get you very far. Um, if you can do it correctly. It's about treat. At the end of the day, this whole life we live is about treating people well. If that's the only way you're going to make an impact on somebody's life is is if you treat them well. I mean, everybody remembers who was good to them in school and who was the bully, and it's about creating a positive impact. And I want to be able to do that through my music, um, because that's obviously what I love, and I love people. So I want both of those worlds to collide, and for people I love to enjoy the music that I love and the music that I create. I also learned, and I just learned this one over Christmas break. Um, it's so easy in this town to forget how to be a fan. It's so easy to get caught up in who's got the best song, who's got the best voice. You go into a writer's round here in Nashville and you want to make sure you look the part and you want to make sure you this and you want to make sure you're doing all these things when in all actuality, like that jades you from the reason you make
You're doing this in the
the
first place.
move here. I got to watch Jake Owen play a show prior to the FSU bowl game in Orlando. And for the first time in the year and a half that I've lived in Nashville, from that point to today, that was the first time that I was actually a fan and just enjoying the moment, because there's a lot of scrutiny in this town. And especially as artists, I know I can speak for myself and I'm sure I can speak for a bunch of others that we're our own biggest critics and we analyze our every move every time. And I, for the first time, was a fan again. And one of my resolutions this year is to become a fan, to remember to be a fan in all of this.
It's
So
so easy to get caught up in what you're doing that you sort of lose sight of this is
yeah,
really cool what you're doing.
it is. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I definitely want to keep in mind this year.
Yeah. So on the flip side of the lessons, what would you say have been some of the bigger challenges that you've faced so far?
Uh, one of the bigger challenges for me, and I try to be a straight shooter as much as I can, it's been staying true to yourself. It's it's um it's a it's very easy to see the success of others and the success of people you look up to and say, you know, I want to emulate them, or why isn't whether it's why isn't my song doing this, or why isn't my TikTok performing like this, or why isn't like, and it's like, well, maybe I should try what they're doing, or maybe I should try what they're doing, or maybe I should try like writing these kinds of songs. And it's like, you have to remember that there's only one you as an artist and as a person. There's only one you, and you need to stay true to who you are, and you need to remember that God's got a plan for for you, for your music. You know, I'm fully aware that with the, years of hard work, you could sell out stadiums, and with years of hard work, you could still be looking for a record deal. And that's the reality of this town. And but I wouldn't be doing anything else. I mean, music's my love and my passion, and I can't work at a desk, that's for sure. But I think that that's the biggest struggle for me is which I'm getting much better at, is it's not getting too high with the highs, not getting too low with the lows, and it's keeping the blinders on and moving forward with what I'm doing, and kind of
Yeah.
uh, leaving out
Blocking out the noise.
blocking out the noise. So
It's crazy how like music and sports sort of mirror each other in that sort of
yeah,
way also.
let me tell you, if I could have been an athlete, it's funny. Drake says that musicians want to be athletes and athletes want to be musicians, and I think that's the most true thing ever, because I would kill to be a quarterback on a football team somewhere. So, but you know what? Like I said, I God's got a plan. I wasn't built to play football.
He didn't ask you.
He didn't need me to throw touchdowns. So I pick a guitar.
So you have a new song coming out next Friday, Every Time the Wind Blows. Could you tell
Yeah.
us the story behind that one and how it came
Yeah,
together?
man, it was a breakup in college. Uh, uh there's a girl I really, really liked, and it was one of those relationships where I'm sure like, you know, we've all been there, where you don't know if it's the best decision for you. You don't know how you feel one day, or you wake up one day and you're feeling one way. Well, I should say that I wasn't feeling that way, but she was a little, concerned as to what was best for her. And I kind of said one day, every time the wind, I was talking to my buddies, and I was like, every time the wind blows, man, she's over here, she's over there, she's up, she's down. And I wrote the idea down on my phone, and we had broken up. And I used, well, I went and pulled the title out of my phone and just started writing one night in my college apartment, and it was just me trying to capture what I was feeling and what our situation was, and the fact that she didn't know if she was in it or she wasn't. And you know what, we're friends now, we're cool, there's no like hard feelings in that moment. It was very tough for me, but you know that was the best way I could describe how I was feeling. And I just hope the song resonates with other people that are going through that and that have experienced that.
It's definitely a very relatable concept there.
Heck yeah. No, did you hear it at all?
Yeah, I heard it.
Heck yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And has she expressed any thoughts on the song, or you don't know if she's heard it?
That's a great question. Well, if she ever listens to this, she's gonna know it's about her. I haven't told her, but she had asked me. She was like, "Hey, like, what do you have going on music wise? Just like, how's life and whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, like, I'm releasing this song." Like, and she's like, "Well, I'd love to hear it." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I sent it to her, and she was like, she really liked it. So we didn't talk about who it's about. We didn't talk about nothing like that. But no, I have not had that conversation with her. So yeah, my mother's gonna kill me, but for saying all this, but it is what it is.
Well, now the cat's out of the bag.
The cat's out of the bag. My mom always tells me, she goes, keep your cards close to your vest, son. And I am a very emotion driven person, so I don't do that well. But yeah, I mean, it's no harm, no foul at this point. She's awesome, and she's doing her own thing. So I'm happy for her, and yeah, there's no hard feelings.
So what you got cooking the rest of the year?
Oof, a lot. I got a lot of goals to knock down. I got some more music coming out. I don't know what I can't say, but I don't know. This is, like I said, I'm still green to all this, so it's kind of just like figure it out as you go. But I'm I got some more music coming out for sure. Hopefully there will be a couple songs out by summertime. I just want to play as much as I can, man. Like I said, like, you know, this town really harps on writing a lot, and I'll be honest, I'm like I said, like I would tell anybody, I don't want to change my story for anybody, but like I I just want to play shows, man. I don't really, they say it's crucial to write in this town, and I agree. But I feel like I above all things, if somebody came to me tomorrow and said you never have to write a song again, but you could play shows every night of the week, like I'm doing that till the day I die. So that's what I really want to do this year. I want to get some music out. I want to be able to gain or attract a little bit of a buzz so I can go start playing shows and just pound it out. So that's kind of what I want to do this year. Music wise, lifestyle wise, there's a whole nother laundry list of things. But
So I want to do a little rapid fire with you before I let you go. If that's cool with
yeah,
you.
let's do it.
Let's do it. If you could only eat one food the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my God. One food or one cuisine?
Um, we'll let you have a cuisine.
I probably have my mother's sauce, pasta and meatballs. For
Okay,
the rest of my life, I would have that.
rest of your life. Can't put it on anything. Just
You
the
say?
sauce. You can't put the sauce on anything. Just plain
You-
sauce.
No, I need pasta and meatballs for my mom.
All right. Um, dream venue to play.
The Opry.
The
Hands
Opry. A lot of people say Red Rocks also. Between those two.
Like Red Rocks to me is cool. I'm sure I've never been. I'm sure there's magic there, but when I fell in love with country music, I fell in love with the Grand Ole Opry, and I would one day love to be a member. That's a goal of mine, a lifetime goal for me, and I just have a lot of reverence for it. I think that there's magic in that building, and I mean, people say, if God took me while I was on that stage, that's exactly where I'd want to be, because that's the epitome of what country music is that stage.
Dream collaborator.
Collaborator, dead or alive.
Either one.
Um, I would love to write. Someone just asked me this question. I would love to have a co-write with Morgan Wallen. That'd be a pretty full circle moment for me. He's the reason I started writing songs. And to collaborate on a song, I mean, I'd have to go. I'll give you one country and one non-country. To collaborate on a song, I would love to do a song with Brett Eldridge. And I'd love to non-country, I'd love to do a song with Michael Jackson, even though he's deceased. So
If you could only listen to one song the rest of your life, what would it be?
oh my God. One song the rest of my life. God. Holy shit. Probably I'm just gonna go with my favorite song, Just to See You Smile, Tim McGraw.
That's a good choice.
Heck yeah.
A little on the sad side, but
I know. Welcome to my love life.
Oh, same here. If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
I couldn't see myself doing anything other than music, to be honest with you. I'd be involved with music or entertainment some way. I remember before I knew I wanted to be an artist, and before I started trying to pursue this dream, I had my sights set on moving back to Buffalo, New York to try and work for the Buffalo Bills. I'd have loved to work in their front office, um, but yeah, I wouldn't be doing anything else.
Waffles or pancakes?
Ah, Waffles or pancakes? Waffles.
Good choice. Good
Thank you.
choice.
Thank you. I was hoping I picked the right one there.
Very controversial one, I know.
I know. I know.
Well, thank you so much again for taking the time for this.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course, have a great day.
Yeah, you too, brother. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Y'all, thank you guys so much again for tuning in. If you liked what you heard from Joe, be sure to go check out his new single, Every Time the Wind Blows, and all his other music wherever you listen to music. And go check him out on social media. If you liked what you heard from the podcast, be sure to hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. And go check us out on social media, Outworlds of Country on all platforms. Talk to you guys next time. Hope you have a great day.